The Enron scandal caused the famous auditing group Arthur Andersen to collapse in 2001, turning the Big Five into the Big Four, while the Evergrande case is said to have caused dozens of times more damage. Biggest scandal ever. Bloomberg News Agency said that Chinese authorities are investigating the responsibility of famous auditing group PwC in Evergrande's $78 billion false statement of revenue, creating one of the biggest scandals ever in history. Audit history. Evergrande was once the largest real estate company in China but had to bear huge debt due to its aggressive strategy of borrowing capital to expand projects. The above accusation is a blow to Mr. Hua Jian, who was once one of the richest tycoons in Asia, who owned a vast empire from real estate to electric cars. The WorldCom case in 1999 to 2002 was also only accused of financial fraud of $11 billion. Even the largest multi-level model fraud in history by billionaire Bernie Madoff only cost investors $64.8 billion. In 2001, the collapse of Enron Corporation only falsely declared $600 million in profits. The incident caused Arthur Andersen, a famous auditing company among the Big Five at that time, to collapse, leaving only the Big Four, the four largest audit firms globally including PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst & Young. Not only was it torn apart by other firms, Arthur Andersen, an auditing firm with 89 years of history and 85,000 experts, by 2007 had less than 200 people left, mainly to appear in court in lawsuits filed by shareholders in public companies. Previous customer company. Therefore, if the Evergrande case is expanded by investigative agencies, this will become one of the biggest scandals in the history of the audit industry. Experts are concerned that PwC's image will be affected globally, leading to the risk of collapse as well as widespread effects throughout the industry. Previously, the China Securities Administration accused Evergrande's Hengda subsidiary of falsely recording sales and exaggerating revenue many times over about 2 years until 2020, becoming one of the main reason why the group defaulted on debt. Sources close to the matter said that Chinese officials are investigating what PwC's role was in this incident when the auditing company made such huge errors that caused such serious consequences. The most basic error. This error is one of the most basic errors in the auditing industry. Therefore, the risk of losing PwC's reputation is not only in China but all over the world, said Richard Murphy, professor of finance at the University of Sheffield, UK, confirmed to Bloomberg. The Evergrande incident took place in a context where PwC was facing many difficulties as this famous Big Four auditing firm had to deal with the consequences of many of its global scandals. This caused PwC to have to cut a series of workers in the UK and Canada. PwC's Australian branch has faced criticism for disclosing the government's tax plan to clients, thereby forcing a series of layoffs. Similarly in the UK, the company was fined £5.6 million in 2023 for audit violations at defence company Babcock International. The question of PwC's responsibility in the Evergrande fraud case is huge, especially the connection to the issue of understatement of revenue. Nigel Stevenson, an analyst at the research company GMT Research, shared with Bloomberg. Previously in December, GMT questioned Evergrande's financial statements, claiming that the group had never achieved the profit level they announced. However, Evergrande responded that GMT's suspicions were unfounded when the financial reports were conducted by a prestigious Big Four auditing firm like PwC. Hengda Real Estate, Evergrande's main subsidiary, overstated its 2019 revenue by about 214 billion yuan, equivalent to $29.7 billion, accounting for half of its total revenue. In 2020, the company continued to falsely declare 350 billion yuan, equivalent to 79% of total revenue that year. According to the China Securities Administration, in addition to inflating revenue, subsidiary Hengda also inflated profits by 91.9 billion yuan, equivalent to $12.7 billion and accounting for 75% of income in 2019. Minus 2020. This figure is 20 times higher than the false profit declared in the 2001 Enron scandal. Hengda relied on these untrue financial reports to issue bonds, raising 20.8 billion yuan from investors. Before 2021, Evergrande also recorded revenue even though the project had not been completed and handed over the houses to buyers. This strategy has helped the group record a low debt ratio, thereby making it easier to sell bonds. Then, due to difficulties in cash flow, Evergrande fell into default when the houses previously recorded revenue were not completed and handed over to customers on time. China's securities regulator alleges that most of the responsibility belongs to Mr. Hua Jian, founder and former chairman of Evergrande. He was accused of instructing his subordinates to falsify data in the annual financial reports for the 2 years mentioned above. According to experts, Mr. Hua used the highest supervisory role in the company, using extremely sophisticated tricks. Mr. Hua Jian was fined 47 million yuan for falsifying results and other alleged violations, and was banned from participating in capital market activities for life. Former executives were also fined and banned from capital markets. The penalty can be a warning to real estate business owners who have defaulted on their debt, that if they do not cooperate with the authorities on debt restructuring, they will face serious consequences. Zerlina Zheng, senior credit specialist at analysis company Credit Sites, confirmed to Bloomberg. However, the lawsuit could cause legal trouble as well as a huge scandal for PwC when it makes this basic audit error. Evergrande Group is conducting bankruptcy liquidation proceedings in Hong Kong and creditors may seek PwC for compensation. Hengda being fined 4.18 billion yuan for understating revenue will make it even more difficult for Evergrande to pay off its debt. As of June 2023, this group is carrying debt of up to $332 billion. Serious consequences. In the Evergrande case, PwC audited Hengda for 10 years until January 2023, then stopped due to audit-related disagreements. PwC has more than 1,600 certified auditors in China. PwC also recorded revenue of 7.9 billion yuan in 2022, becoming the largest audit firm among more than 9,000 companies in this market. PwC's global revenue is up to $50.3 billion. In addition to Evergrande, PwC also audited Chinese real estate corporations such as Country Garden and Sunac China before they became insolvent. Over the past 2 years, PwC has withdrawn from at least 10 Chinese real estate corporations such as Sunac and Shermao for many unclear reasons. According to experts, most Chinese real estate firms make money by selling unfinished real estate and committing to hand it over after a few years. Home buyers put down deposits and mortgage properties to buy them. This money should have been placed in an escrow account and disbursed only when the house was handed over to the customer. However, this cash flow is often mysteriously missing right before the eyes of PwC auditors until the authorities conduct an inspection. It was not until 2021 to 2022 that Evergrande recorded revenue from projects handed over to customers, causing financial statements to suddenly change and raising suspicions of fraud. Last year, Deloitte was also fined 212 million yuan by the Chinese Ministry of Finance and suspended office operations in Beijing for 3 months because of audit errors at China Huarong Financial Company during the period 2014 to 2019.